For your skill builder this week, you're going to draw paper curls. And what that is you are going to take a long strip of paper. My strip of paper that I cut in class is about 1.5 inches wide and about 12.5 inches long. You can curl it by taking scissors and gently putting it between there and kind of like a ribbon, or the easier way is to just use your pencil, roll the paper all the way up your pencil, and then let it go. That's a really tight curl, so I'm going to use my fingers to kind of loosen it up. I am going to tape this onto a white piece of paper. You can use a paper in your sketchbook that's adjacent, but don't shut your sketchbook on your paper curl until you are finished drawing it. So I'm going to stretch it out a little bit, and then I'm just going to play with the composition of the direction that I want to look at it. The view of this camera is really above this paper, but my view is really more beside it. So I'm kind of looking at the shadows and the shapes, and once I get it to where I like it, I'm going to add a little bit of tape only in the place where it naturally touches the paper. I'm not going to squish it down. I'm just going to add a little tape where it touches. I want to stretch this one a little bit, so I am going to pull it out a little bit, and then again where it naturally touches the paper, add a little bit of tape. I like that. At first I thought I was going to draw it from the front, but I think I'm going to draw it from the top where you guys are viewing it in this video. The thing about paper is that it's a parallel shape. It's a rectangle where the sides are all parallel to each other. So the thickness of the paper doesn't change. It just kind of appears to converge sometimes. So when I draw it, I can use that as proportion. I'm going to start with this back line, and it kind of curves down, and then it curves up. It's a little bit difficult because I'm drawing it from my computer screen, not from real life. And then here's the top of it, and that curls down. And now I can use that to determine how wide the rest of my paper curl is, because it should always remain the same thickness, since it's the same piece of paper. It's the same parallel lines. So even though they appear to converge or overlap, they are always going to be the same distance apart. And then that curls down, and again I'm measuring for that thickness to make sure that they are proportionate and they're maintaining that curl or that distance for my parallel lines. And then I'm just drawing what I see. So this comes down, and then it curls back up again, and then there's a straight line over, and it curls down, and there's that connection. So that's basically the outline. I could make some minor adjustments, but that's essentially what I'm looking at. Now you're going to shade it. So this is not just a drawing. You need to fully add value. You can choose any of the techniques that we have learned and practiced so far in class. If you are in Art 1, I want you to choose a technique that is not the technique you're going to use on your name gradation project. So I'm going to use the blended technique, the technique that we used on our shoe in Art 1. And I'm using the side of my pencil, and I'm starting with the shadow side over here. And I know that it's darker than the top part of the curl, but it's not like super dark. So I'm just going to add a layer of value. I know it gets darker as it gets up towards that corner, and it's kind of light right here. So I'm right where I'm at. I'm not going to add a lot. And then I'm going to add more layers as I get up towards that corner. Remember, the goal with this is to get rid of our outlines. We do not want any hard, heavy lines surrounding our shape. We want our shape to emerge solely by the change in value. So I'm going and darkening, but you're also going to have to look at the paper behind the paper curl, the paper that it is sitting on, and the term is called cast shadows. So the cast shadows underneath the paper curl on the paper that's on the table is just as important as the shadow